Yay, we're live.
Oh, it says we're live, but like on YouTube, we're not like showing yet. Let's see. You were like, yes, it's time. We will be live. We will be. Oh, come on, man. Let's see. We're almost. Oh, yes, we're rolling. We're rolling. Yay, we're live. Yay. All right, perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blazewrath Games virtual launch. Yay! Now we can clap. Thank you so much for being here tonight. As you can see, like the ticker at the bottom, this is the Blazewrath Games launch party, but it's also what I like to call the Latinx Dragons party. And since it is a Latinx Dragons party, it would not be complete without my co-host, or as she likes to call herself, my moderator, Destiny Soria. Let's all give a nice little warm welcome for Destiny.
Yay, thank you.
I know you can't hear me. I'm sorry. I know I can't hear everyone clapping, but I know they're clapping. I trust it. So let's.
Hope so.
Yes.
No, hopefully nobody's doing.
They're like, oh, great. So let's introduce Destiny here. Destiny Soria's first novel, Ironcast, is a YA historical fantasy about magic, mobsters, and two best friends kicking ass in 1920s Boston. It debuted in 2016 to critical acclaim. Like, honestly, just seeing magic, mobsters, and two best friends kicking ass, that's all I ever needed. But then 1920s Boston just makes it even better.
It was definitely an easy hook, for sure.
Absolutely. Like, super easy to summarize and, like, pitch. I love it. Her sophomore novel, Beneath the Citadel, is a YA high fantasy about a city ruled by ancient prophecies and 4 teens who risk everything to rewrite their fate. Also iconic, legendary, we stand. Destiny lives in Birmingham, Alabama, where she spends her time trying to come up with bios that make her sound kind of cool. She has yet to succeed. Disagree. Hard disagree. This is amazing. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Fire with Fire, which is the book that actually features Latinx dragons. It is coming out next June, correct?
Yes.
Yay,
There's
I'm
a
so
date,
excited.
but I don't remember it now. So
I'm
a good author. I'm professional.
It is coming out. According to your website, it is coming out June 8th, 2021. So make sure you
pre-order. It was a day off.
Yes, it was in the area. Very good. So a quick summary of Fire with Fire, which you should all pre-order because, I mean, listen to this. Danny and Eden Rivera were both born to kill dragons. How dare they? How do you kill dragons, Destiny? Okay, anyway. But the sisters couldn't be more different. For Danny, dragon slaying takes a backseat to normal high school life. While Eden prioritizes training above everything else. Yet they both agree on one thing. It's kill or be killed where dragons are concerned. Until Danny comes face to face with one and forges a rare and magical bond with him. As she gets to know Nox, she realizes that everything she thought she knew about dragons is wrong. With Danny lost to the dragons, Eden turns to the mysterious and alluring sorcerers to help save her sister. Now on opposite sides of the conflict, the sisters will do whatever it takes to save the other. But the two are playing with magic that is more dangerous than they know, and there is another, more powerful enemy waiting for them in the shadows. Yay!
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm super hyped. I love it. Love it. So, yes, also.
So, I mean, we're actually here to talk about your book.
Actually, we're here to
People might be confused.
No, they're not. They're not confused. I like to hype people up. Also, yes, I am wearing the jersey. I don't know if you can see it very well.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yay! It's out today.
It's out today. Yes, it's officially out. Let me just put this up here. Gabby Morataya says, yay, dragons. So, yes, I completely agree. So I think Destiny has some questions for me. They were supposed to be for the both of us, but I've been sabotaged. So
yes, I've taken control of this.
Yes. All right. Go ahead.
Can you? This is a question you will be graded. Can you describe your book's magic system and creatures? And does your cultural identity influence any of them?
Well, my magic system and the dragons that I've used, or not used, but like that I include in this thing, they are very much rooted in Puerto Rican culture, specifically the ones from Team Puerto Rico. I really wanted to showcase magic and magical creatures that were not commonly seen in fantasy or canon. I mean, we see dragons all the time. You and I both have seen multiple dragons throughout all of these years in film and in books, but I don't think we've ever seen dragons like our dragons. So, or written by people like us. And that's basically what I wanted to include. Puerto Rican culture, but through the lens of someone who has no magical ability and is obsessed with dragons. And those dragons represent her island, or her archipelago, I think is the correct term. And yeah, what was the other part of the question?
I feel like you kind of answered it.
Okay.
I feel like in the book you did a really good job of the different dragons kind of representing their different cultures. I was thinking about the Zimbabwe dragons, where the pangolin.
Yes.
Is that them? Yes.
Yes. Is that them?
They were cool. There was a lot of dragons.
Yes. I mean, I really wanted to like include other countries. It is a World Cup, so it would be kind of silly on my part to not feature dragons. And I think I can't remember who said this, but someone like complimented me on the fact that there were different species. And I was like, is that not a thing? I mean, I know that there's like different color dragons in like, for example, Game of Thrones or like canon fantasy, but I feel like it's true. I didn't really notice that there weren't like different species.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of How to Train Your Dragon, which is a compliment because that's one of my favorite movies. So
yes, I also love, and also just people. I want to give a quick shout out to the hashtag Pink for Blazewrath, because I did see some toothless love in there as well. So yes, How to Train Your Dragon is definitely an inspiration.
So what is it about dragons that appeal to you?
I think that just the fact that they're so powerful and that they are seen as this incredibly badass mythical creature that either protects villages or cities, or they completely ravage them. Like they can either be seen as protective or destructive. And I feel like that amount of power is both frightening and impressive and worthy of admiration. And I wanted to portray dragons who were mighty, but very much in love with their people or their riders and the country of origin. And in terms of Blazewrath games, the villain was a dragon. And now in human form, he is not the greatest being. But I wanted to highlight the fact that he is thinking and rationalizing, and he can do all these things. He can also do them as a dragon. And as a dragon, he was mostly feared, or more feared, I would say, than as a human, because he had fire. But just because someone has magic or something has magic doesn't make them better than anyone. And I feel like there's a lot of that in fandom. People think that, oh, dragons are better than wizards, or dragons are better than trolls, or whatever it is, right? So I wanted to kind of like take that admiration and love for dragons and turn them into something more humane, more relatable, and more have them make more sense to cultural identity in some way.
I feel like you also touched a good bit on sort of the idea of liberation, because his kind of whole thing was that he wanted to liberate the dragons, but then it was one of those things where it's like on paper you're like, I agree with you, but then once you like actually see what he's doing, you're like, I do not agree with you.
The way he goes about it is questionable, to say the least. He's not the nicest person or dragon.
I like that there was kind of a gray area, mostly near the beginning of the book, where you're like, you're not really sure, like, do the dragons want to be free? Are the dragons enslaved? Like, what's happening? And I feel like it's a really good idea that you sort of juggle during the book. And I really liked the ending, which I will not spoil, but I was so angry about it.
By the way, Destiny DM'd me right before the live stream, and she was like, I don't want to talk to you.
And I was like, we're done. We're not friends anymore.
That's fine. That's exactly what I love.
feeds on people's pain.
Yes, always. That is now my brand.
It's a good brand. I've been guilty of that.
Very true.
So we're seeing a lot more of the Latinx rep in YA fiction, but obviously there's still a long way to go. So what would you like to see more of in fantasy books when it comes to young adult readers or young readers?
Like everything. I mean, I feel like we are very much doing our part in terms of presenting or incorporating creatures that have been very much Eurocentric for a very long time into fantasy or not necessarily just for, but with our cultures and with our communities featured and centered. But I also feel like I would love to see more queer, positive, body positive fiction that includes dragons or, like I said earlier, trolls or elves or fairies, witches, more witches, please, always more witches. But I just feel like not just the fact that it's Latinx, I definitely feel like we need more queer representation within fantasy, because where else can we kick butt and like excel at it and be praised for it and find a home for our greatest hopes, if not in fantasy? Of course, contemporary realism is super important, and we should always promote those books as well. But I feel like, where are my queer dragon slayers? Like, where are, or not dragon slayers, just them, you know? We need, I mean, who, like, there are so many possibilities, and we have just begun. I feel like you and I are just like the surface. There's so much left, and I cannot wait to read it, and I cannot wait to promote it.
Yeah, just little plug. Danny is bisexual and
Fire,
so
love. Yes. Okay, let me just not sing. If I sing, it's going to be a situation.
But what was I was thinking something. Oh, you have a lot of, I don't know what a good word for it would be, just like casual diversity in your book, which I really loved. It was just like, there's queer people, there's people of color, there's people of different religions, and they're just kind of there. It's not like, you know, it's like the way the real world is.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just living their lives.
I mean, the other day I had an event with someone I truly admire and love so much. Her name is Nonica Ramos, and everyone needs to read The Truth Is and the Disturbed Girls Dictionary. She also has a picture book coming out this November, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Your Mama. And she was saying that her child wanted to write diversely, and they didn't know how to do it correctly or as respectfully as possible. And she was like, okay, well then read Blazewrath games. And I'm like, this is not the first book to do it. Certainly not the best book to do it, but I truly do pride myself in being as aware of what the real world looks like. This is a fantasy, but that doesn't mean that people of different religions, sexualities, gender identity, they don't exist just because there are dragons in my world, you know? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's very important, and I say this as someone who I like to look at people and study people and like talk to people who don't think and live like me. That's one of my favorite things to do. So why is my world supposed to only look like me? Like the people in my world, why do they have to look like me? Why do they live like me, etc.? Mm-hmm. So I truly wanted to showcase diversity in a way that felt casual, as you say, because it shouldn't be a big deal that, oh my God, my best friend is African American, or my best friend is this, or my best friend is that. No, they just happen to be different than me. Or in the case of Lana, they're different than her. But so you know, like, I don't care. And even within the team, like the Puerto Rican team, it was very important for me to have the captain be an Afro-Latino, because, and specifically from a community or a town called Loíza here in Puerto Rico, because we are often, I'm like their neighbor, so we are often taught in Puerto Rico that they are the poorest community here, and they're kind of hopeless. Like the whole argument is that, oh my God, they're hopeless. And people who come from disenfranchised or like minority communities, they're hopeless. No one can do anything for them. There's no saving them, and it's bullshit. Sorry, I cursed. I don't know if there are children watching. I don't think so. But It's
cover
just
your ears,
ridiculous.
children.
Yes, cover your ears. So it's super, super annoying. Like that people think that just because someone is, for example, there's a character named Victoria, and she's light-skinned. Edwin is also light-skinned. So these two people, why would they be the leaders just because they're light-skinned? It's important to showcase that Puerto Ricans are not just like what you see winning Miss Universe pageants or what you see in television and film, which is a little bit brown, but not entirely representative of every single person on this in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wanted to highlight that.
And I feel like you did a good job.
Thank you.
So, a fun question. If you were
Oh.
a dragon rider, what would your steed's name be?
This actually changes. Like I feel like some days it's one thing and then the other day is another name. So
all of them.
Yeah. I mean, today I feel like the name would be something joyous and like celebratory. Maybe like this is gonna be super like not fun at all or not funny at all, but like fiesta, like something really like, you know, or like my favorite name would probably be Chaos because that's like I thrive on chaos.
That would be the best dragon name.
I mean, can you imagine a Sol de Noche named Chaos or Caos in Spanish? And just like be the most adorable creature, super friendly, but loves children and pets.
Sets on fire and kills all of its enemies.
That would be amazing. I mean, I don't personally have enemies that I know of, but it would be nice.
After this book, you're gonna have to see.
Actually, that's not true. I do have an arch nemesis, and I'm gonna call them out right now. Adri or at Perpetual Pages, official arch nemesis. That is all I will say. Yes,
the gauntlet has been thrown.
Correct. Mic drop. Yeah. So what would you name your steed? I mean, I know that it's like hard to pick a name because it's basically, it's not exactly a pet, but it's very close to you. So like, what would you name your steed?
This is maybe a little sad, maybe a little bit killjoy, but I'd probably name it after my deceased cat, Sophie.
Oh, I love that name.
She had these really bright green eyes that looked a lot, and like her little face kind of, she wasn't black, she was gray, but she looked a lot like Toothless, like in the face with like the big eyes. And so my friends used to say that she looked like a little dragon.
Oh my God, that's so sweet though.
And I just feel like it would, I mean, she was my best friend, so I feel like it would be nice if I had a dragon steed for me to kind of have that name back.
Yes.
Sorry, I keep having to reach over and pet my new cat, Cammy,
please show everyone the cat. Everyone deserves.
Be pissed. Aww, Cammy.
It's not a party without a cat. I'm sorry. Like
she was sleeping so nicely. I'm so mean.
Look at that face. Like that is the meanest face. Like that just.
She's pissed.
I love it.
She's actually a very loving cat, and she loves nothing more than to lay on top of me and get snuggles. But
yes.
I mean, she's also a cat, so she has attitude.
It's like, I mean, can you imagine like if her personality was, we could like take her personality and put it on a dragon?
See, I feel like dragons, I really think they would have personalities a lot like cats, because I feel like cats are kind of like, cats kind of have the personality of like apex predator, but in a tiny little fluffy body. So it's like really frustrating for them.
Yes.
So I feel like if a cat was a dragon, that would be like their prime state. They would take over the world.
Yes. I mean, I feel like there is a dragon in on the team, on the Puerto Rican team. Her name is Daga, which means dagger in English. That specific dragon is very much like a dog. It's actually one of the few dragons in the book that is actually similar to one of my personal pets. So I definitely based it. Yeah, I based it on one of my dogs. So it's a similar personality. It's very playful, very loyal. Although Daga is like excessively energetic.
She's the youngest one, right?
She's the youngest. She's the baby.
I loved her so much. She was so cute.
Yes, and if people out there haven't read the book yet, we will not be providing spoilers. Don't worry. I just look at this. Caro says that Daga is their child. Yes,
Daga
agreed.
was the sweetest. I just loved all the parts where all the other dragons are like, we are being stoic and majestic, and then Daga was like, woo!
Party! Like, that's definitely the chaos baby. Oh my god, so much love for Daga. Okay. Look at this. Everyone is standing.
She deserves all the stand.
She deserves. Very good. So is there anything else you'd like to ask me? Because I have some questions for you too.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
What kind of dragon, either in your book or another fictional world, would you be if you were a dragon?
I mean, I want to say a Sol de Noche because that's like the obvious answer. But I feel like maybe I would like to have, for some reason, I want a glitter. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like glittery horns on like a pink dragon? Actually, CW made a dragon illustration or illustrated a dragon for the interview that we did for Latinx Heritage Month on their blog. And it was a pink dragon with like a little gold outline. It was the cutest thing.
Aww.
But I think I would be that dragon. And my powers would be to like throw glitter bombs along with the fireballs.
Yes.
It's like glitter balls and fireballs.
Because you can imagine get rid of glitter once it's on you. So it's like you're cursing your enemies for the rest of your life.
And that's what I'm here for. Can you imagine just having glitter in your eye stuck? Like you're in the middle of a fight and then you have glitter in your eyes. That's a problem.
True story. One of my best friends, she has a baby. And her baby had
I'm worried already.
It wasn't glitter, but it was like this little black speck that like had come off of their couch. They had like a leather couch that was like peeling, and this little black speck got stuck in his eye, and they couldn't get it out for like it was a long time. It was like a week. And then one of my friend, my best friend, actually like messages on our Discord and is like, he's like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but have you tried licking it off?
Oh no!
She was like, no, I haven't. She was like, I'm just saying this because I did have a friend once who I can't remember if.
Oh my god!
At any rate, she had done it on one of her friends, and it had worked. Like because the tongue is like soft enough that it doesn't hurt your eye, and also like the saliva is not like dangerous to your eye, and so it's actually a really safe way to get it out.
I am horrified.
I know. I told her after, I was like, so now we have to live the rest of our lives knowing that you've licked somebody's eyeball. So
no,
who's the real victim here? And she goes, me.
Or are you? Like, I have questions. I have so many follow-up questions. It's like, are they seeing a therapist? Like, what's the dynamic like now? Did that child grow up to be healthy?
The baby did get the speck out of his eye, but they had to go to the doctor to get it out. The licking did not work, unfortunately.
Okay, let me just run that back real quick. That was a waste of licking, is what you're saying.
She licked her child's eyeball for no reason. Yes.
I mean, there is never a reason to lick your child's eyeball.
But if it had worked.
Oh my god.
I feel like in the American healthcare system, anything that will keep you from having to go to the doctor is worth trying.
Sure. I guess. But
she was a victim of the system.
That's super problematic, though. Like, come on now.
You have to lick your child's eyeball before you take him to the doctor.
It's like, I swear, I mean you no harm. And then, like that. Okay, I'm sorry.
This has nothing to do with dragons. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it kind of does because a dragon would lick your face. Like, if you needed to save yourself from, like, something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like Daga would lick your face.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, look at this. Look at this comment from Kara Baker. It's horrible, but it does work.
My best friend. She's the one.
Oh my god! Hi, Kara.
Hi, Kara. You told me you weren't watching, so you're a liar.
I am so grateful you're watching because now this is like completely.
Now you all know I'm not lying.
Oh my god. Oh, look at this one. Do not do it unless you have to. Good to know. Yes.
I feel like we all learned something here today.
I am so like honored that this is where this discussion has led to. Like I am alive, truly thriving.
So the moral of the story is if you get glitter in your eye, possibly somebody licking it could get it out for you.
If I personally get glitter in my eye or anything in my eye, please don't lick my eye. That's just a personal preference. No biggie. I love it though. Like if you could be a dragon, like which kind would you be? What would be your like magical abilities? Because I know that our worlds, like Fire with Fire versus Blazewrath games, the world conceives, or not conceives, but like perceives, that's the word I'm looking for, dragons differently. Like in Fire with Fire, they're a threat that needs to be vanquished. And in Blazewrath games, some dragons are dangerous, but they're mostly just, bonded with humans and they have lovely relationships with them and they're seen as worthy of our respect and admiration. So I'm thinking like, if you were in the Blazewrath games world, which dragon would you be? And if I were in the Fire with Fire world, like what kind of dragon would I be?
Ooh. See, I also feel like I'm cheating because I really like the Sol de Noche dragons.
Okay.
Obviously they're the coolest.
Yay!
Like there's not, like none of the other ones are better. But I'm trying to think, what were some of the other ones? I literally just finished reading it today, but you could ask me anything about it and I'd be like, I don't know.
I do that a lot with like fantasy. I don't know why. Like it's really easy for me to like get lost in contemporary realism, even though I don't write it. I'm like, I can tell you everything about everything. And then fantasy, I'm like, I loved it so much. Don't ask me to explain anything.
Don't ask me the characters' names. Don't ask me the plot points. Don't ask me how it ends.
Yes. Also, just going back briefly to the licking debacle. Look at that.
Okay, well.
I agree, Kara. I agree. But yes, what kind of dragon would you be? Or which kind of dragon would I be? Would I be like a dangerous, murderous dragon in Fire with Fire? Would someone have to destroy me to save humanity? Or would I be like a nice dragon?
I mean, I'm having a hard time imagining you as like a dragon trying to like murder people.
Right.
So I think you'd probably be a nice one.
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
Okay, wait. You would be an evil dragon who would rain wrath and glitter upon her enemies.
Wrath and glitter. Is that the sequel's title now? I
yes.
think it works. Actually,
Blazewrath games, Wrath and Glitter. It works.
Wrath and Glitter. Blazewrath Glitter.
Blazewrath Glitter games.
Yes. Speaking of, wait a minute. The Pluma de Muertes are actually the Mexican dragons in the book.
Yes. The ones with the like no, remind me what they do.
They do a lot of things. But without spoiling too much, they do have an ability that is quite creepy. I've been told it is quite creepy. They're
the ones that eat the skin, that steal the skin, right?
Yes.
I remember it. Yes, it is very creepy.
It's creepy. I can't remember. Oh, I think it was Gabby. Monadaya who was like, "Oh my god, this is so disgusting. Like it's so wrong." And I'm like, "I know, I love it."
It is so wrong, but it's pretty awesome too.
Awesome. Yes. So I think you would personally be, if we were in like the Blazewrath games world, you would be like similar to Titang, which is like the leader of or not the leader, but the steed of the captain, of the Puerto Rican team's captain. And he's like kind of a steady figure, someone who is, or not someone, but a dragon who is like well respected and considered like the one, So I feel like you have that like calming energy. That's steady.
This after I told you to try licking somebody's eyeball.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you should all listen to me. I'm wise.
No one will ever give me better advice. I'm sorry. Please don't try it. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Yes, I completely, fully agree with this. Yes. You're welcome.
See, but maybe chaotic, evil glitter energy. There's got to be like some bright in there.
I think so. Yes, I think so. But I feel like, oh, I like this also. It's from my arch nemesis. But anyway, glitter with glitter. That's
my gosh.
We should do like a thing. What's the Fast and the Furious treatment? Like we should do like Too Fast, Too Furious. Like two Blazewrath, two glitter. Yep, that's the sequel's name.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Actually, speaking of, I can spoil a little bit about this. For the sequel, we do have a title, but I've been told that it's too much. Whoa. So we might have to change it because I went a little bit too trigger happy with it. They're like, Amparo, please, like this is too violent. I'm like, oh, why is it too violent? Oh, I get it. Yes, I get it now. So yes.
Well, now I'm imagining like Song of Blood and Gore and Terror.
Song of Gore and Terror, the sequel. A Blazewrath novel. Oh, I like that.
Ooh, that's nice.
Blood and Gore, a Blazewrath. Yes, Adriana, too much. It's too much. Apparently, it's too much. My brain went there. Too violent. Yes, it's too violent. I'm sorry. I will not be spoiling it. So whenever we can settle on a new title, I will be...
you have to tell us the old one after.
The old one, yes. I will tell you the old one. I think...
And then we'll all vote and your publisher will have to change it.
Yes, they'll be like, oh, I think we made a mistake.
We'll write a petition. We demand the violent title.
Yes. So I'm thinking that we can do a little bit of a game right now. I don't know if you've ever done this, but do you actually have an arc of Fire with you, or like some sort of, I don't know if physical arcs are with you yet.
We're not doing physical arcs because of COVID.
Oh, I wonder what that is.
No.
So no.
I mean, I think I have the...
You should be a diva.
I'm scared about the sequel too, just based on what happened in the first one, how we're going to be tortured in the second one.
I will say that there are more situations in the sequel.
Situations?
Yes, there are more situations in the sequel. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I mean, this one just came out today, and I'm like trying to talk about the sequel. What a professional.
Well, we want to know.
Yes, I guess. But you're not going to.
But that said, I have the past pages of it, which is kind of like the arc.
Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to the audience. Does anyone have a page number that you would like us to read from? So Destiny is going to read from a page of Fire with Fire, the page that you wish, and then I'm going to read a different page from Blazewrath games. So any numbers for us? Let's see. Oh, I love this. Cryptic and terrifying. My brand.
She's one of my friends too. Hi, Claire.
Oh, I love it. Hi. Thank you for tuning in.
She's a Kiwi from New Zealand.
Oh my god. Oh, and Adiba is actually watching us from Ireland. So hi.
International. I love
it. Like the World Cup. All right, so we have some page numbers. First one to appear is from Adriana Martinez, and it is really. All right, so you take that one, Destiny.
Okay, let's see.
Page 6-9. You can read 2 sentences from it, or one sentence. It can be spoilery, but not too spoilery, like whatever you wish. And then after we do this, we can open it up like the Q&A from the audience. Viewer questions. That's the correct term, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's see. It took Eden a while to realize the insistent buzzing in the back of her mind was her phone on the bedside table. She scooped it up too late, realizing she'd already missed 3 calls from her aunt. She called back. If it had been her mother, she would have been anxious that something was wrong, but Frankie had never gotten the hang of texting or voicemail. Her strategy was usually to call until someone picked up. The current family record was 18 calls to Annalisa during a movie.
Oh, that is my best friend now. That's actually me.
I love Frankie. She's super fun. She's the fun aunt that I strive to be.
I don't have any nieces and nephews yet, but I hope that someday I can be. Actually, I mean, my friends have children, so I'm kind of like their aunt anyway.
Same thing.
So, yes, same thing. So let's pick a number for Blazewrath games. Let's do... Ooh, I like this number.
You know, somebody with an arc is like going through it right now and being like, which is the saddest, most horrible page to force her to read from?
Correct. And it would be warranted. So it's page 44. Let me see. Something not too spoilery. I don't think there's a lot of spoilery in this part. All right. So, here we go. All right. So it says, Mom slumps in her seat, shaking her head. Honey, how can you feel like you don't belong or have a purpose? Your parents love you. You have Samira's and her family's love. You're going to be a high school senior in 2 months. You're heading off to college next year. Am I? Have I told you what I want to major in? Well, no, but you still have time to decide. Parents, man. Parents always ruin everything. I'm kidding. Listen to your parents. Love your parents if you have parents. If you don't have parents and you were raised by people who love you, please listen to them as well. So yes, that was page 44. And if Destiny's cool with it, we can just have like a viewer Q&A. Anyone has any questions for us? Or just complaints about the eye licking situation?
If anybody wants to yell about that.
I love that Kara is here and she was like, oh my God, yes.
I only told that story because she told me she wasn't going to be here.
Oh, that was a lie on their part. Yes, Adriana, we know. We know. We're aware.
And we love that about you.
Do we?
I do.
Do we? I love how chaotic this is. I just love how it represents who I truly am. Thank you. All right. So let's see. No questions yet. Just people like freaking out about like the licking. And like,
remember that time that I hijacked your launch party with a story about licking eyeballs?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, ooh, we have one. We have one here. Are we getting new dragon species in the sequel of Blazewrath games? I mean, yes and no, because we are getting some new species that we are introducing for the first time. But we are also meeting, like on the page, we are meeting species that were mentioned in the first book. So we have a couple of dragons that were like just in passing in the first book, and in the second one, we actually see them. I won't say which ones. Yep. All right, so here is another question. It says, Amparo, were there dragons that didn't make it into the book? Yes.
The glitter dragon.
The glitter dragons. That's actually a very interesting question because there were actually more matches in earlier drafts. There were more matches in the cup. And one of them was actually Team Venezuela. And their dragon is called the Furia Roja. And we see the Furia Roja in the match. And I don't know if... I mean, this is not necessarily a spoiler, but one of their abilities is that they can shoot spears out of or from their tails. So we did see that in action in one of the matches. We had to scrap that match. And actually part of what happens in that match in earlier drafts is a combination of what you see in the Zimbabwe match. I'm not going to spoil much, but yeah, that's basically what happens there. All right, so let's see. Another one. I need to know who Lana would have a crush on from other recent releases. Ooh, I love that question. Thank you, Gabriela. I think She would absolutely love Diego Ferrari from Shamile Said Mendez's Furia, which is right there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I think that she would absolutely stan Diego. And if you don't know what Furia is, it is actually, speaking of contemporary, it's about a young Argentine girl who is a soccer player and wants to go pro, but she is very much living under circumstances that hinder that progression, or that her dream is like similar to Lana in a sense, but she is coming from like way worse conditions at home. And yeah, I feel like, wait, what's happening? The chat is out of control. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It's like, no, but like in a good way. It's just people are like, oh, here we go. Yes, Shamile is here. Diego forever. Yes. Lana is definitely a Diego stan. And everyone should read Furia. Thank you. Good night. Oh, look at this. Lana and I share the same taste. Superior taste. Gato superior. All right. Any other questions? Let's see. Oh, it's just people just freaking out. Oh, here we go. Jen. What was one of the most interesting things you came across in your research for your book about dragons or otherwise? And actually, Destiny, I don't know if you did much research for your dragon species, or it was just like completely your brainstorming that, or did you actually research?
I looked a lot at character traits of birds, snakes, and lizards.
So did I. Oh my god!
Because I feel like that would be like, and dogs.
Okay, no, I didn't do that.
Well, one of the things that I included is that dogs, the eyebrow bones that they have, were like,
right.
Scientists think that they were evolved like specifically so that they could communicate with us better.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, the puppy dog eyes are a calculated
attempt
to get things from us.
They're like, yeah, yeah, and also when they're like asking for food, they look like really intently.
And they do like the little like, but like cats don't have that if you look. So like that's why cats don't really have the puppy dog eye thing.
Correct. I feel like I did the same type of research, and in terms of the most interesting thing I came across, I feel like just national symbols for each country that I developed a species for, specifically Scotland. I did not know that their national symbol was the unicorn. Like the unicorn. Okay. And I'm like, perfect. Their dragon has a horn. Like a big freaking horn. And, it's like my unicorn. It's actually this one. This is the Scottish dragon.
Yay!
Right on the cover. Yeah. And this is, of course, the Puerto Rican dragon. Well, not her. That's the main character. But yeah, the dragon is. I'm like pointing at the poor girl. Anyway. But yes, I think that the most interesting thing, or one of the most interesting things, is just how different, like the bird species, the snakes, everything was, even though it's like snake, but there are differences. Mm-hmm. So like what makes this specific bird Japanese? What makes this specific snake African? Like differences like that. It was really fun. And I think I saw something here from Kev's. Top 5 songs you listened whilst writing the book. Do you listen to music, Destiny, while you draft or while you do any sort of writing?
It's weird because I don't typically listen to, I listen to instrumental a lot when I'm drafting and editing.
Amazing.
But I tend to have a Spotify playlist for each of my books. I actually haven't made one yet for Fire with Fire.
How dare you?
I know. I'm terrible.
You have failed this city. Anyway, not to quote Arrow, but anyway, I feel like the top 5 songs, I have a really long playlist for Blazewrath games, and the playlist for the sequel, I almost said the title. The playlist for
we were so close.
I almost said it. Anyway, I'm not gonna say it. But yes, I feel like the playlist. There's a lot of melancholy pop, like a lot of it, and I feel like I can tell you that I'm not sure like top 5 songs, but one of the most listened to songs were Monsta X's Fighter, which is just slightly similar to what Lana is going through in terms of like she endures and she wants to prove herself, not romantically like the song implies, but definitely within this cup situation, the scenario, and as an athlete and also as a Puerto Rican girl. So that's one song that I really listen to a lot. But I also listen to like a lot of like really sad pop. Like a lot of sad pop. Just to get into the mindset. And let's see. Oh, speaking of Monster X, who are Lana and Samira's Monster X biases? Destiny, are you familiar with the term bias in K-pop?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love it. This means your favorite member from the group. Bias is favorite. So I feel like Samira would not have any biases because she does not listen to K-pop. And she jokes with Lana that she's like over it. But Lana's favorite, or her bias in Monster X specifically, would be Minhyuk, because she loves to surround herself with positive energy and people who are very optimistic, like Samira. Even though Samira is a mess sometimes, she's very hopeful and she's ambitious. And
I feel like Samira is the very definition of chaotic energy.
Oh,
she's the best.
Sure. I love that she just does what she's not supposed to do, and she does it so happily. Like she doesn't really understand.
With like so much style too, just like all in every time.
Yeah, I do think that it's like funny in the sense that she has problems with boundaries. She's like, oh, I'm not supposed to do something. I don't care. I'm doing it. And she also has trouble saying no to people, which is something that I personally don't struggle with. And it was interesting to write someone who does struggle with saying no. Whereas I'm the type of person who's like, no, you're not doing this. It's like, I love confrontation.
One of my favorite parts, and this isn't a spoiler because I feel like it's literally the second page of the book, but when Samira like shows up and Lana's just like, are you going to catch on fire again?
Yes.
Like, it was only like 2 hours left.
Yes, exactly.
I was only on fire for 2 hours. Like, what a big deal. God.
Yes, it's like, you're so dramatic. I can't with you, right? But I feel like it's because, Lana is a little bit more practical in some senses, but Samira, there are different levels of magical abilities, and Samira is at the lowest level. She's a copper wand. And so she wants so bad to be a silver wand, which is the next step, but she's not there yet, and she keeps breaking her wand. So, yeah.
Poor wand.
I mean, I get it. I've been through it, I guess, but yeah.
One thing I really liked was, and maybe this is just my opinion, but I feel like Lana kind of comes across as the more like level-headed, but in a weird way, Samira is actually the one who has more emotional maturity in the book. And it seems like anytime something's happening, Lana's just like, okay, time for a meltdown. And Samira's like, chill first.
I love it. Yes. That is exactly how I would describe it. It's like meltdown time. And Samira's like, oh, no.
Time for a meltdown. Let's go.
Which is incidentally how I would react to most things anyway.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of stuff that happens is like meltdown worthy.
Correct. But like there are layers and levels to melting down, you know, like it's like, okay, so the initial stress and chaos of like my life just changed and maybe for the worst. And your best friend is like holding you together or like keeping you in one piece. Emotionally and psychologically, they're like, it's not the end of the world. You know, like I really wanted to have a best friendship like that because imagine that you are in a situation where the whole world, its eyes are on you and you're 17 years old. Regardless of your emotional maturity, you are you're still ill-equipped to handle something like that if you've never been exposed to fame. If you grew up in it, it's different. But if you're just thrust into it and because you did something that you never planned on doing, which in the case of Lana is just like being on national or international television for saving a life. So it's like,
well, and the fun thing about like fantasy is that so often you get to take sort of those friendships where you have the friend who's always like, it's not the end of the world. Right. But then in fantasy, most of the time it's like, but literally it could be the end of the world. So
I mean, just saying it's possible. But also
I'm not technically overreacting.
Yes. Oh, look at this. A little bit of a spoiler. Amparo talks about copper wands. Me remembering what happens toward the end. Eye emoji. I'm not going to say what happens toward the end, but yes.
I won't say anything.
I love
Samira's the best.
Yes. My hero. Yes. Same here. And Kira actually has a very lovely comment. This Amparo, you seem like a person who would not publicly blast her BFF for her very helpful med suggestions. Are you in the market? What? For a new BFF? And also, what was your favorite dragon story growing up? Already, Kara. Yes,
Did I make a new? Do I have a new enemy now? A new arch nemesis?
You should always consider me as the next arch nemesis in your story, for any reason ever. Like, yes. So my favorite dragon story growing up, I think, like, I didn't like grow up reading a lot, but I did watch a lot of movies, and I do remember like animated movies were huge in my household, and also horror movies, but we don't have to talk about that. Because like I literally learned English because of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees.
Seriously? That's amazing.
And like I remember just like faintly, the first movie I remember watching is actually The Wizard of Oz. So I learned a lot of my English watching Dorothy and Jason and Freddy and all of these people that I should not have been watching at 4 years old. But my parents are great. I swear my parents are great. Dragons. I feel like, I don't know if you've seen the show Merlin on BBC. I personally have like a thing for Kilgara because he's so shady. Like he literally drops in and he's like, "Hi Merlin, I have a really cryptic thing to tell you. Solve it. Goodbye." You know, it's like I feel like that's
seems
the energy. Seems trustworthy. And also he berates Merlin. He's like, "You messed up and it's your responsibility to protect Arthur at all costs. Okay, bye." You know, it's like, okay, interesting. So I did not actually grow up watching Merlin because it came out like, I want to say like 7 years ago. I'm not sure. But yes, I would love to have more people watch Merlin and stan Kilgara, the dragon. Yes, Merlin is on Netflix right now, I think. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but yes, I did see it on Netflix. And Dragon Tales. Have you ever seen Dragon Tales?
Dragon Tales. I grew up with Dragon Tales.
Did you? Okay.
When I first started writing Fire with Fire, I got on YouTube and watched some old episodes of Dragon Tales and immediately was just like, oh, my heart.
Soothed. Yes, and everything was like, great. I love it.
It's like all falls back into place.
What am I going to tell you? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I have nothing more to say. Yes. But yes, Dragon Tales apparently, I think I've seen it or heard of it, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't really remember much about it. Well, I know DuckTales.
The characters are Latinx. I don't remember, somebody might know if they're Mexican or...
Oh, I need to find that now.
Or Cuban? I don't remember. I just remember like when I was a kid those were like one of the first times that I was like, it's like me.
Yeah. And that's such a powerful moment because you know that anything is possible at that point. You're like, okay, great. Now I
can fly dragons. So awesome.
Yeah. Or I can just do all sorts of things, like not just dragons, but that's like the gateway, you know, like that's like the first step into creating our own worlds. Okay, next question. Amparo, who would Lana's BTS bias be? Destiny is loving all of these bias questions, by the way.
I do love it. I love it.
I think Lana's BTS bias, not to be, repetitive, but she loves people who are very optimistic and hopeful and also like love children and are like super motivational. So I think that she would love J-Hope. And she would also think like her bias wrecker would probably be Jin, because Jin is like a funny person and someone who's like chaotic.
Wait,
like
what's
Samira.
Your bias wrecker?
Oh, sorry. Yes. For the
I'm the old person who needs.
Sorry. Her bias wrecker or a bias wrecker would be like her second favorite, but in the sense that would distract attention from the main favorite. It's like, oh, when this person is around, they're my favorite, but then this other person comes around and it's like, oh my God, I'm trying to be loyal, but this other person is here and it's really distracting. So yes. And people are like freaking out about this. Oh, yes, I just answered it. What is your problem? All right. So Someone is like trying to make Destiny look.
I'm sorry. I am uncultured. I'm uncultured swine.
I mean, remember, people, like K-pop. Oh, look, Kara says, angry cryptic dragons are the best. Absolutely. Yes. I completely agree. Do you have any angry cryptic dragons in Fire with Fire, by the way? Is there someone that we should be looking out for? Or is it like...
Yes,
spoilers?
I feel like Nox, who's sort of the main dragon, he's very angry and cryptic all the time.
Perfect.
But in a very bratty way.
Oh, I already love. Oh, look at Gabriela says, I am ashamed to admit I heard Bias Record. Nope. Bias Wrecker. Sorry, my pronunciation might not be the best. I love this. And Adriana wants to know, what's the menudo bias, Amparo? Am I a terrible Puerto Rican if I only know Ricky Martin was in Menudo? Am I like a shame for my country? Will my Latinx card be revoked? I mean, I do remember listening to MDO earlier on as a teenager. Yes, I'm aging backwards. So yes, I think let's go with Ricky Martin. Yes, let's go with Ricky Martin. He's the relevant one anyway right now, correct? Am I wrong? Yes. All right, so we are 4 minutes away from finishing up the live stream. Can you believe it just like flew by?
It did.
I felt like I'm hanging out with like a friend, just like doing like cocktail. You said you were having a Malibu?
Well, it's a Malibu and Coke, and it is almost gone.
And I'm having absolutely nothing because I'm boring. Oh, Johnny Losala. Interesting. Okay, another name. I have no idea what that means. But okay, I'll Google it. Yes. Oh, rest in peace, MDO. Why? This is sad. Oh, RBD bias, Rebelde, if I'm not mistaken. I actually don't listen to Rebelde, or I did not see the novela, which also means that my Latinx card will be revoked. Destiny, I'm not sure if you relate, but I
relate because no, I haven't.
I mean, I know their faces. And I know one of them, like, cheated on his girlfriend, and it was a huge thing. Like, on the show. I'm not sure if in real life. But, like, one of them cheated on his girlfriend, and this poor girl's suffering was, like, a huge turning point on the show. That's all I know.
Well, you know more than I do, so.
Yes. So, oh, yeah, I think Gabriela is mad at me. That's fine. We're all mad at someone, I guess.
We all have new arch nemesis after tonight.
Yes. No, but Adriad Perpetual Pages will forever be my arch nemesis. Oh, look at this. Adriana was not allowed to watch it. Interesting. It's like Dawson's Creek then. For me, personally. My parents did not want me to watch Dawson's Creek. But they would let me watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And they let you watch Freddy Krueger. I'm confused.
At 4 years old. Yeah, they were like, is it horror? Then you can watch it. Does it have like students sleeping with their teachers? No. But you can see this person getting dismembered. That's fine.
That's fine. That's
not problematic
normal.
at all.
That's something that you will come across every day in your life. So
good Lord. Oh, okay. Wait. This is important. Tell everyone to read Cemetery Boys, Amparo. Yes, I will tell everyone to read Cemetery Boys, although you did it first. I mean, I'm reading your words. But yes, please read Cemetery Boys. It's actually right there, like at the top. I don't know if you can see it. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So if you don't have it, you're losing at life. You're failing. Anyway, yes, also, very important, read Beneath the Citadel and Ironcast and pre-order Fire with Fire. Comes out June 8th, if I'm not mistaken, 2021. They're still a couple of months away, but it's available for request on NetGalley. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes! I'm so excited. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, this book is out today.
You should buy that book.
You should request it at your local library, or if you are more of an audiobook person, it's also available on audiobook.
You should read it / listen to it and then get mad at Amparo and yell at her like the rest of us.
Yes, you have full permission to get mad at me. Absolutely. This, it says, I'm about to borrow Destiny's books from Libby after this. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy.
Stand. You need to stand. And
there's no eyeball licking in any of them.
Yes, very important to know.
She's bad at it, isn't she? When she first emailed me about this, she was like, this isn't going to be about me at all, even though it's my launch party.
I mean, whatever, man. I do whatever I want. I'm that powerful. But yes, this has been such a treat. Like, I literally felt like I was at a cocktail hour with a friend, just chatting. Yes, thank you so much for joining me, Destiny. It was such a pleasure.
Thanks for inviting me. It was such an honor.
Yes, Latinx Dragons forever. Mm-hmm. And I also want to thank everyone who participated in the launch in some shape or form, especially everyone who participated in the hashtag Pink for Blazewrath. Like, y'all are my favorite. So, legendary behavior. Thank you so much. And no one made me cry. So, yeah, just wanted to clarify. Actually, I did cry yesterday, but it's fine. Not today.
It's normal. It's normal.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely evening or afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Adiba, go to bed. Ireland is probably, I think, like 1 a.m. now or something like that. So yes, please go to bed. And the rest of you, I will be seeing you, reading you, and replying to everything soon in the coming days. So
good luck with that.
So much. Yes, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Thank you so much. And yeah, happy Blazewrath Day.
Blazewrath, yay!
Woo! Thank you guys. Bye. Bye.